Today's MMA T Company fight preview is with Oscar Garcia Jr. Oscar is going to be making his professional MMA debut at Art of War on December 4th, and that's going to be in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Oscar, thanks for joining me today. I know you said you're feeling good, feeling ready to roll. What's going through your head now going into this first pro fight?
Really just trying to stay focused on the task at hand, what I have to do in there. Yeah, that's all that's on my mind is just dialing in at this point. We're not too far out. We're just crossing the T's, dotting the I's, putting the final marks on camp.
Yeah, and you say trying to stay focused, and I think that's a lot of fighters say that they want to do that they're trying to stay focused. What does that mean for you in terms of what could take your focus away or what could be a distraction about 3 weeks out from the fight here?
Well, like some fighters, they have like that 2-week itis thing where like the nerves start to come in and you start playing out all these different scenarios, and some of them might not be so great. So a lot of it is just focusing on what I can control, which is how hard I'm working every day and what I have to do in there to get the job done. Anytime some scenario off the wall that comes to mind, I just try to replace that with a positive thought or just things along those lines, just making sure that I'm planting the right seeds and nurturing the right seeds.
A lot of fighters are also very type A people where they want to control every aspect of every single thing that goes on. You don't seem to be a very type A, control every kind of aspect kind of person when I talk to you. Is that the case? You kind of seem to be able to adapt and roll with the punches, or are you at the point now as a fighter where you do want to control every single thing and want to control all of what goes on in the fight?
So like when I was younger growing up fighting, 14, 15, just being a teenager fighting in the cage, I was a type A type of cat where I just wanted to control every single second in there. I wanted to make him skip to my Lou. And then I had that one fight where I got injured and I realized at the higher levels, you can't really control every second in there when you're going up against trained killers. Like at the end of the day, you just have to try your best and whatever happens, because in this sport, whether we like to admit it or not, when we zig, when we should have zagged, that could be the end. Like the room for risk is so small, or the room for like error is so small. So I can't be too wrapped up in controlling every second. I just got to feel the fight, see where it goes, and take it from there.
Yeah, and like you said, the room for error is so small, and a lot of fighters, especially in that pro debut, right? It's like starting fresh and having a whole new slate, but there is that whole other side of things where it's longer rounds and fighters tend to get nervous and they might not commit as much when they're throwing punches or on their shots or different things like that. Is that something that you're working on in camp with your training partners? Is that something that has ever been an issue for you, or are you just ready to rock and roll and not too worried about that?
Yeah, I'm not really worried about that at all. I have a lot of confidence in the work that I put in, and not just the work that I put in for this camp, but like the work that I've been putting in since I was 13 years old. A lot of people might not know or understand, but like I've been fighting since I was 14, and I fought in Virginia with pro rules. The only difference back then was it wasn't 5-minute rounds, except for my third fight. I did 3 5s. So I've already been here before, you know what I mean? Like I've grown up doing this. My body has done fight camps since I've been an adolescent, literally. Like I started on a competition team. I'm not too worried about the differences. We've been training and preparing for this for not just this camp, but a long time.
And it's something where not a lot of people, right, are, I believe you're 21 now, are 21 and have 7-8 years of experience in MMA. And when you first started, you're, like you said, 13, 14 years old, you're a kid at that point. So you don't really have, the strength hasn't developed. You might be a little awkward or a little uncoordinated at that time. Have you noticed your body change as you've been coming up and be like, oh shit, like I can do things that I was never able to do before?
Oh my God, yeah. Like I said, I was the smallest person in the gym, 13, 14 for years, and I was on the competition team. Like I started on the competition team. We didn't have like a uh open format, if you will. It was
Mhm.
like the guys that are fighting, they're at practice, and I was one of them getting fucking beat on for at least 3 years.
Mhm.
And what was the question again? How my body has
Yeah,
developed?
just you start developing a
Oh
little
yeah,
bit more strength. You got a little better gas tank. You might be able to do things that you never expected yourself to be able to do 4 or 5 years ago.
no doubt. If like you would have talked to 14, 15-year-old me, like where I'd be at now, what I'd be doing now, I wouldn't believe it. Like I'm fucking taking down heavy weights, and I've always grappled with people much larger than me. Like I said, I was the smallest person in the gym. Like the closest person to me was like a 55er, and
Mhm.
that was our coach. So you know how it is going with coach. Like
Yep. Yeah, and you also kind of grew up in the gym where, like you said, you were the kid that was getting beat on by, the older fighters. And we have a kid at our gym, Christian Carr's kind of the same way, where he was just the kid that always wanted to be around the gym, always wanted to be with the fight team. But then, he would go hard, so he would get cracked or things would happen. And then sooner or later you find yourself being 21, 7 years of experience, and you're, oh my God, now I'm having to put the whooping on somebody else who's coming up and training a little too hard when they're young. So how has that development been for you, just mentally in your training, being a senior member of the fight team but being young at the same time?
Sometimes it's surreal. Like when I go with some of the guys that have been there when I was a kid, and I'm able to handle them and not get completely obliterated like how I used to. It's like, wow, like I really came a long way. I can't believe that I'm here sometimes, especially when I have a real good day. uh, and yeah, it's just surreal is the biggest part. I'm really grateful that I'm able to be in this position, because as we know, this is not an easy sport. It's not for the faint of heart. One mistake, and that's it, you
Mhm.
know? So I'm just glad that I've been able to make it this far, and I'm excited to see how much more I continue to improve, because I'm only 21,
Mhm.
pro debut. Like this is just the beginning.
Absolutely. And you train with Cam and those guys in Pennsylvania, but you had just recently been out in California training as well. So what was the training like out there, and where were you training, and what did you take away from that trip?
So I went over there and I just wanted to get a feel for it, because I do plan on moving to California around March or April.
Mhm.
And I just wanted to get a feel for it, go to a few of the gyms around the area, San Diego, where I'll be staying, and try to find a new home, make some connections. I went to 10th Planet Oceanside with Giovanni Martinez, AJ Matthews, striking coach up there. He just started being the striking coach up there, Bellator fighter, phenomenal striker. I didn't get to attend one of his classes, but I was able to go to one of Giovanni's, and I really like their system up there. I really like the camaraderie there. I also went to North County MMA with Johnny Soto and a few of those other guys, Derek Anderson. I didn't spar with Derek, of course, but I did get some work in with Soto, and that really helped. That really helped me a lot. I also went to Dan Henderson's up in Temecula.
Mhm.
That was a lot of fun. It was beautiful facility, awesome instruction. I got to sit in on a Muay Thai class with Tarek Safadine. And going through all of that and going with those higher level guys over there, it really, because at my gym, it's a select few. We got six guys, 8 on a good day. And going over there with just like, I told the one guy, Johnny Hughes at North County, I was like, I've never seen this many people in the gym before. Like I was like a kid in a candy store, you know what I mean? Like I can't. I'm gonna do really big things when I get over there. Like the resources, it's almost inevitable for me
Mhm.
to become world champion
Yeah, and
there.
it's
And
it's also something where, right, you've been around now, when you've been to those gyms, those the highest level gyms in the world. You're also around other people who may have been there and may be able to not just teach you something physically on the map, but you can pick their brain after you're done training, right? And you can ask them different things.
No doubt. Yeah, things like that definitely gave me a newfound confidence, because like I've said, I got beat up quite a bit when I was younger. Sometimes that makes you a little gun shy, and I am aware that since going with bigger guys, I'm just so used to being the smaller guy, and being over there, going with people closer to my size, I was like, oh, okay, like I don't have to counter fight. I can actually put the pressure on people and work. I don't have to be always so defensive minded, if you will.
Yeah, and that is, that's part of the progression of going through those amateur ranks and now turning pro, is you can kind of turn that off and on at will, right? How the fight is going, which we kind of alluded to earlier, instead of controlling every single thing that happens.
No doubt.
And speaking of going into this fight, right, you're going to be fighting Anthony Dill. Anthony is 0-3 as a professional, but he hasn't fought in, it looks like, about 6 years. He started fighting in 2013 as an amateur, rattled off a bunch of fights, didn't have a great pro showing early in his career, but I think has been training this entire time, right? He took the time off and put in the work. What do you know about Anthony? What are you expecting when he comes out? Just talk me through your thought process on accepting this pro fight with him.
So Cam, my teammate, he mentioned, because my last fight camp, I started to look pretty well, like pretty good. And me and my coach and Cam were like, maybe you might want to turn pro after this one. Like, you've been fighting for free for like 7 years now. Mm-hmm. And I just started thinking about it more and more. I started adjusting my training, 5-minute rounds and whatnot. And Cam kept on mentioning, I think Dill would be a good fight for you. Like, he's got slick boxing, good ground game, good wrestling. Like, it's a great fight. And I started looking into him a little more, and I noticed that he fought some pretty tough guys, like Kenny Richmond and a few others I can't remember. But that Kenny fight stands out to me because he's tough. Yep. And watching him when he was younger, you could definitely see talent is there. Like you can see the talent. And now that he's taken this time to, hopefully he's trained really hard during this time, during these 6 years. Because I know I've been training this hard for a very long time. I anticipate a very, very good fight. He thinks he's going to knock me out, I've seen. Mm-hmm. If that's what he thinks, then that's great. Maybe the fight will be a little bit easier if he's thinking that he's just going to come in and knock me out. I think that this is going to be, again, potentially fight of the night, for as long as it does last. Mm-hmm. He's tough, well-rounded, like I've said. I'm just excited to get in there and mix it up. Like we said, he's been gone for six years. We don't really know what all tools he's sharpened and added to his toolbox, but I'm very confident in what I've been working on, and I think I got what it takes to get the job done.
Awesome, man. We're excited. I also think it could be fight of the night. It is a stacked Art of War card, but this is one that could steal the show. Before I let you go, I wanted to give you the opportunity to just shout out, your training partners, sponsors, any family, anybody who's been helping you out, anything like that. Just, it is an individual sport in the cage, but it takes a team of people to get to where you've gotten to so far.
Yeah, I mean, big shout out to Coach Dan and Cam for always giving me good work and helping me inside and outside of the gym. Shout out to Eric Strausser and Dylan Harnish and those guys over there at Midworld. I've been putting in a lot of work with those guys every week. Dylan's phenomenal. Him and Cam, they're both southpaws. Cam has a lower hands, kind of fights like Dill a little bit. Been like the best coincidental partner for him. And Dylan's just, he's so good. He's really good. He's been helping me out. We've been leveling each other up quite a bit. Eric's been teaching me a lot of leg lock stuff and just I've been picking his brain, you know, after practice, and he's
Sure.
a great. Shout out to my sponsors: Intrinsic Motion, G Construction, Advanced Power Services. Thank you for, you know, supporting me and helping me pay for my medicals and whatnot. I'm really excited to have Philly know who I am by the end of December 4th.
Awesome, Oscar. We're excited to, you know, kick some ass out there, and we'll see you on the other side.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.